Cole Palmer at 10.5 million is causing me huge issues. He's probably causing you problems as well. If you're like me, you was willing to captain him in this upcoming game week, only for us to see him walking off the pitch before kickoff against West Ham. In a game, we knew they were going to destroy West Ham. Many of us wanted to captain him. All of a sudden, he's complaining of an injury, walks off, and we get nothing. To make things worse, it sounds like he might even miss this upcoming game week, and we might get a price drop as well. Cole Palmer is one of the main issues I'm going to talk about in this video, as well as other issues in my team in this disastrous game week 2. If this sounds good to you, do me a favor, drop a like and subscribe. Let's get straight into it. Game week 2 was hideous. I'm going to run through the team to let you know the players that are on the chopping block and the players that I'm happy to keep in my team. I started Sales 2-pointer, unfortunately. I was never going to start Dubravka because I started Estev. I couldn't do double Burnley. In hindsight, I wish I did, but of course, as I said, I wasn't going to do it, so I'm not too upset about that. Van der Ven, I benched, but looks like I'm going to get his points. A bit of jam there because Cole Palmer, one of the frauds for this game week, isn't coming on, so I'll be getting his points off the bench. No one expected that performance, clean sheet, and victory against Manchester City, so fair play to Spurs. Cucurella, one of the star signings for me this summer. No issues. I'm more than happy to own him, and in fact, he's just gone up. He got an assist in a game where they conceded, so still delivered a return. Juve coming away with 3-pointer in a game where they conceded 5 goals is not too bad. He was second on my bench, so I'm not exactly going to get those points. Anderson, more than happy with 4.5 million, giving me 4 points in a game where they conceded against United. A very good player. And Estev, I touched on him earlier on, 6 points from a £4 million player. I mean, what more can you want? Mohamed Salah is yet to play. He's my captain, so please, I really need a haul there to try and save this game week. Beside him is Cole Palmer, one of the frauds. We're going to talk a bit more detail about him later on, trust me, because he is a big issue for this team. And someone that is on the chopping block, without a doubt. Rodgers and Watkins, I'll speak about them both together. Both blanking again. Aston Villa don't look that good. I'm not sure what Unai Emery is doing, but he needs to change things in attack. It's not looking good. They look pretty toothless. Bruno Fernandes is another player we'll talk a bit more detail later, and he's a player that's on a chopping block. 9 million for a defensive midfielder. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. And the last player in my midfield is Ndiaye. He delivered an attack in return, 8 points. Thank you very much for that. But he is 100% on the chopping block. Fulkrug in my team, you could argue, is a bigger issue than even Palmer. 6 million, there's not much places I can go with that. I've got no money in the bank, so I need to come up with a creative solution to get him out my team. He is one player that definitely needs to leave. Watkins, I already touched on when I was speaking about Rodgers, and Gui's my third bench fodder. I'm not too fussed about him. As you can tell, there's 3 or 4 players in my team that could potentially leave. But let's talk about the transfers I'm making. So these are the transfers I've actually made. Yes, I've already gone ahead and made these transfers. So take a look and get in the comments and let me know whether you think this is good. Is it improving my team or no? Have I made my team worse? Now let's start with the attack. Fulkrug had to leave. I did say this at the start of the season. At 6 million, I don't mind if you don't score every week. I'm realistic. That's not going to happen. But I did want his minutes to be solid. And when I saw him come off that early for Callum Wilson, who I didn't expect to start being in contention that quick, the writing was on the wall for Fulkrug. He was leaving, and it was just a matter of who's going to replace him. And the striker I've gone for is the one really who I should have started with this season. And it's a mistake I made, but I've corrected it now. The reason I didn't start with him was I thought the minutes would be in trouble. I thought him and Delap were pretty equal. I know Maresca really likes Delap. He's managed him before, and I thought that might be an issue for minutes. When I saw against West Ham that Delap started and Pedro still got 90, that confirmed it for me. There's no more talking. Let me rectify this mistake. 7.5 million for a Chelsea striker. Chelsea going to be one of the best teams in the Prem this season. And he's only 7.5 million. Yeah, as I said, let me fix that ASAP and stop trying to fight it. In midfield, there wasn't much options. I needed that million, so I got rid of Ndiaye, albeit he gave me a goal today. I'm more than happy to take that, but he had to go. I needed that £1 million so I can get João Pedro. And for 5.5 million, there wasn't much there. I would have loved Reinders, but he's already gone up. And Anderson is a solid pick. Of course, he's nowhere near as attacking as Ndiaye, but he will get some assists and he will get some DEFCON points. And for 5.5 million, I'll take that. So all in all, I'm happy with these transfers. It was very close that Palmer was going to go. I'll talk about him a bit more detail and Bruno in a bit more detail later, why they didn't leave and why I've given them an extra chance. Let's have a quick look at my watch list for players that I'm keeping an eye on, for players that I want to bring into my team. So this is my watch list. The players I'm looking at, if I either activate my wild card or whenever I got the free transfers, these are the players I want to bring into my team. Let's start with the forwards. Haaland, 14.1 million, so it's no surprise that he's going to be excellent. Can I get him into my team? The only reason, in fact, I've got him in the watch list is because Cole Palmer's 10.5 million. If I do get rid of him and get a cheap midfielder, maybe there's potential for me to get someone like Haaland. Go over Haaland, Salah draft, as it looks like we might be able to get 3 good cheap midfielders to allow us to do that type of structure. So that's the reason he's in my forward watch list. Ekatike's been outstanding. What a signing Liverpool have made. Makes me question why they're getting Isaac, but I suppose that's modern day football. Huge squads and all that. He's been outstanding at 8.5 million. I think there's much more to come from him. And when the transfer window closes, if Isaac isn't at Liverpool, I will be considering Ekatike. I would love to get rid of Watkins and bring him in. Liverpool clearly the best attack in the Premier League. Already you could tell there's going to be goals in that team. And if he's leading the line, especially without Isaac, the minutes are going to be excellent. And Gyökeres is another interesting one. At 9 million, a little bit more expensive than Ekatike, but playing for a top team, a team that's going to create many chances like you saw against Leeds, taking penalties, loads of ticks there. He's another player I really, really like. I think he'll be very popular come game week 7, but if I have to go even earlier to get rid of Watkins, he's definitely a player I've got my eye on. So these are the 3 centre forwards I really like. The midfielders are a little bit cheaper, which is nice. As I said, it does allow us to go for someone like Haaland if we do get rid of Palmer. Semenyo has started the season in great form. He looks really, really good. He looks on it. And if I'm honest with you, it's probably his last season at Bournemouth. If he continues at this rate, all the big guns, all the big teams across Europe will be trying to get him. He's already gone up twice and I can totally get him. But he's a player I definitely have my eye on. And Bournemouth have good fixtures, especially for attackers. Now, Enzo is a very cheap option and becomes a very interesting option, especially if you're like me contemplating getting rid of Palmer. Not only do you free up money, but you also get Chelsea coverage from a player who does attack. He doesn't always play in the DM position. He is allowed to crash the box, bomb forward and get shots off. Like you saw against West Ham. Yes, he won't be playing West Ham every week, I know, but he will pick up shots even against the harder opposition. So he could turn out to be the actual cheap bargain player in that midfield. So someone to keep an eye on. I, for one, have added him to my watch list. And last up is Reinders, who's already gone up in value. Frustrating that is, but what can we do? He's already gone up because he's playing the minutes and playing in an attacking position in this Manchester City team. Now, one of the things that put me off him going for him last week, I still wasn't sure what Pep was going to do with his position and minutes. But for him to click up 2 90 minutes in a row, where there's so many other players in that midfield, is good signs. And it won't be long, I think, before he joins my team. Let's just hope he isn't 8 million by that time. And in defense, let's talk about Gabriel. The best centre-back at attacking headers from set pieces. Arsenal are the best at set pieces and they're the best defence. You could see why he's already gone up 0.1, which is again very frustrating. All of these players are getting further and further away from my budget. Munoz for Crystal Palace, they might be conceding goals, but he is an attacking machine. You might as well count him as a winger. At that price point, he's 100% coming into my team. It's just a matter of when I get the transfers to be able to bring him in. And lastly is Pedro Porro, a player I didn't think I'll be owning this early in the season, but watching him, if he plays in the back 5, he's a super attacking wing back. If he plays in the back 4, he's just as attacking and he's taking some set pieces, loads of ticks. And when we add Thomas Frank, doesn't allow his team to be wide open like Ange did. So the defense might give up some clean sheets as well. So loads of ticks there as well. So this is my current watch list here. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. So in my fraud watch, I've got 2 players for you. And I'm going to start with Bruno Fernandes. No, I'm not raging just because of that stupid penalty miss. To be fair to him, he was barged by that referee, which was a strange situation. That probably put him off. But the reason he's on fraud watch, £9 million for a defensive midfielder. Yes, he has penalties. He doesn't even have all set pieces. I saw Mbeumo taking the left corners in swinging. So that immediately makes him a worse asset. I'm not too happy about that. And when you look at the stats behind it, so it's not, as I said, not raging just from today's penalty miss. No, I'm not. Although I'm a bit fuming, but I'm not raging. Look at his stats. Just look there. Now, here's the thing. Look at his penalty area touches in the last 2 games. I know the first game was against Arsenal, but today's against Fulham. In 2 games, he had 5 touches in the opposition box. It's not looking good. Look at the touch map. He's genuinely playing as a number 6. At times, yes, he will move forward depending who his partner is. but it's still not good enough. Are you telling me we cannot get a betting asset? We cannot use our money better? Now, I was expecting for him to play part of the game in that position where he's such a good passer. He can still get returns. I know this because they've got better players in front of him. So that was the rationale of picking Bruno. You've got a penalty-taking captain who's got superior attackers than last season in Mbumo, Cunha and Sesko. I was thinking surely he's going to get assists. And then I thought later on in the game, one of those players will come off and he will go in those 2-10 positions. Yeah, that's not kind of happening at the moment. He's genuinely playing in that position. That's the reason he needs to be on forward watch. Sounds harsh, but it's the truth of it. If I can get a player at 7 million, in fact, 5.5 million, outscoring him playing in superior attacking positions, I don't think there's a discussion. This week, I had more urgent things to take care of, but it won't be long where this guy leaves my team. If this continues, now you're going to say, if he scored the penalty today, I wouldn't be as angry. He wouldn't be on a forward watch. I still think he would. How many penalties are you going to get a season? The reality is I need to see more from him in open play. You need him to be attacking. At that price point, I've got a different expectation of a player. So for now, he's going to stay on forward watch. As I said, nothing's happened. He's still in my team. Next week, he's got Burnley. Potential captain material if you've got the stomach for it. But for me, he's going to stay in the team. Surely you can't transfer a player out before they play Burnley. Joining Bruno on the forward watch is Cole Palmer. You're damn right he's on forward watch. 10.5 million has been. Is that harsh? Why am I saying this? Like I said earlier on in the video, we needed him for these 2 upcoming game weeks. It looks like he's going to miss them. 10.5 million looks like he's going to go down in price. Then we've got international break. We're going to have the unknown, whether he's going to be fit after that. Do we stick with him? Do we continue losing value? And at the start of the season, value does impact you big time. So if he goes down by 0.2, it's a big problem. And this isn't helped by the news Maresca kept his injury quiet. It sounds like he was playing through injury against Crystal Palace, trained all week, felt the injury through training this week, and then tried to play through it against West Ham, but in the warm-up, it was too much. So we could have known this before game week 2 started, and we might have been able to make the transfer. Yet, he was just sat on our bench doing nothing. £10.5 million is way too much money. And just in case you think I'm overreacting because of this weekend and him missing out to West Ham and we could have feasted off points, no. This has been a slight issue for Palmer for a little while now. He hasn't scored, I think it's in 18 Premier League games. His last open play goal, as you can see on the screen, was in January. So like I said, we know he's a top bracket player. We know he's got potential. He's the kind of player actually that if he did play against West Ham could have caused some damage. But the reality is that 10.5 million being wasted on him? Am I better off getting a Semenyo and a Haaland in my squad? These are the questions that are going through my head, and that's the reason he's on forward watch. He's staying in my team. Got a good fixture this coming game week. Let's hope he is fit. We give him the benefit of the doubt because he is a top bracket player. He's one of those supreme premiums that we planned in our team to captain him when I can't captain Salah. So we're going to give him benefit of the doubt. But honestly, if it carries on like this, he will be leaving my team. Get in the comments and let me know your opinions of the 2 fraud players in my team. I hope you enjoyed the video, but more importantly, I hope you found the video useful. Get in the comments and let me know what your game week score is, who you're transferring out, and who you're bringing in. Now, before you jump off to your next video, do me a favor, like, subscribe. Good, you've done that now? Good stuff. Now, all I'm going to say to you is make sure you tune in, get the notifications on, and tune in for the deadline streams. You're going to have good fun, trust me. Loads to go through, and we have the predictions competition, which is getting pretty tasty.